This is the Reliability Engineering and Netquest talk. We will talk about the lesson we learned while adopting site reliability engineering, but from a cultural point of view. So if you expected a technical talk, maybe you're wrong.
Hi, do you hear me? Yeah. Well, my name is Forlidar. Please, you can call me Forli. I've been in Netquest for the last 3 years, and I'm a sysadmin with more than 10 years of experience on Linux systems. And more recently, I accomplished the AWS Solutions Architect certification. Yes, for me. I graduated as network engineer, and when I'm not doing talks, I like rollerblading in Barcelona.
And hi, I'm Ruggero. Currently I'm serving as the head of platform and principal site reliability engineer in Netquest. I'm in Netquest since 2018. And I've been working with distributed system the last 10, almost 15 years. And on my free time, I do Endure MTB, and I go to the mountain, do a lot of things. I was telling you first that this is a kind of a cultural talk. And we will try to keep it short to leave time for the answer after. First, what is Netquest? Netquest is a marketing research company, and we give our customer insights of what panelists and normal people think, and what they buy and they see online. Our team, the platform teams, is in charge of design and maintain all the platform that compose the Netquest products. We start working with the development teams from the POCs, and we accompany them through the production. And of course, we maintain the system in production. We are in charge of their reliability, performance, of security, and the toil eradication with automation. Quickly, some numbers. We are 7 engineers running 90 different platforms just on production in 6 Kubernetes clusters with more than 150 auto-scaling groups. And we give support to 6 development teams composed roughly by 70 engineers. This is an excerpt from our job description. As you can see, we are not following nothing by the book, because a part of the small company, a small team that we are, you have to be cautious that if you are not running the same number of Google, Netflix, or Amazon, you don't need everything they are talking about on their books.
Okay, before we start any adoption journey, we must establish what we want to accomplish and how we're going to measure our success. First, the question is what we want to get out of it, in this case, getting SRE. Well, obviously, any sysadmin would say, well, I want full uptime, so okay, that's for sure. But how about some performance, some resilience? So how we're going to measure our success? Here comes the metrics. First, we look for numbers or key performance indicators. The first number we can look at is the overall number of incidents in a given period of times. This number of incidents is what you use for redacting the service level agreement, SLA. That comes from negotiating we negotiate with our customers or clients what SLA is going to be. It means that how many incidents we can handle. This number is represented as a percentage, and it's you heard of it is 4 nines. It means that it's 99.99% of SLA. as a service level agreement is this SLO, as you might know. Yes, SLO is it's another metric that we negotiate with our customers, for example, for the metric of uptime or response time. And SLI, its name means, stands for hardware compliance with our SLO. Another metric indicator, it would be, very common indicators are the 4 golden signals that stands for latency, traffic, errors, and saturation. Another really common metrics are the mean time to recover or mean time to acknowledge. Mean time to recover is the average time it takes from the system fails until it's fully functional, again. And the mean time to acknowledge is when the alert is triggered until the work it starts. This last metric is very useful to know how effective is our system alert and how is responsive our team. And also this metric, it's noted by DevOps Research and Assessment, also known as DORA. Another metric would be the bug tickets, where we report incidents. And the last would be sensations. Another metric would be sensation, that is, we do some pulse check on our customers to know how they feel and have some feedback. We can say that you cannot state that you are doing SRE after reading a book or a blog post or just changing the people's role name. To be able you need a very supportive and strong, company culture to succeed in embracing SRE. No matter your approach is as DevOps or platforms engineer or core team, you need to feel, everyone needs to feel psychologically safe and not afraid to make mistakes while improving the systems. Here, a culture is the definition in that case of people, processes, and the tools they use. And here in Netquest, we have 4 founding pillars about this. They are, first of all, be glue, 2, wise ignorance, 3, from good to great, and the last, no shortcuts allowed. Here, the main concept is the shared ownership, is that tools and responsibilities are across developers teams and SRE teams. Everyone plays its part on the global runtime and product quality. About the blameless environment, we must focus on the processes and the tools and not individuals. We must embrace failure. We know that 100% of uptime is impossible. No matter what do you do, you know that failure will come. So we need that everyone feels safe and sorry, repeating. As best practice, make clear common path. Do blameless postmortems, foster collaboration, and mindset contamination.
So, the other part of the culture, trust. For SRE to be effective, we have to understand that SRE must serve the business goals and the customer needs. In our case, the developer teams. So when you have to implement it, you need the buy-in from the business owner, engineering managers, principal and senior engineer, and the other will just follow. How we build this trust in Netquest? By building a continuous and bi-directional short feedback loop with all the actors, business owner, product manager, and so on. And by supporting the technical leadership vision. It's not possible for SRE to divert from the product vision. And then by delivery project by a short and incremental and by ensuring the reliability and the performance on what you are delivering. So how we maintain this? By measuring progress. Forlidar was speaking about this KPI before. By urging a sense of engineering excellence on all the teams, because it improves quality and reduces bugs in the meantimes. And by reducing the attrition with the other teams, especially when you're talking about security, you have to shift left whatever you can to just to avoid divergences between QA and production environment. Oh, but I can do this in QA and not in production. No, okay, you'll not be able to do this even in QA. So there's no. We try to reduce all the attrition, and last, by boosting automation, with less human iteration, we reduce the errors, and then we increase the trust with the main buyers. So, short recap. As best practice, having a continuous and bidirectional feedback, a short one. You don't need to wait 1 month to get the feedback from your customers. In our case, the internal customers. And always deliver. If you're late or if you get stuck, prepare an extra strategy, leveraging your frameworks and their guardrail if you can. If you're not, just negotiate and execute this extra strategy. As an anti-pattern, what I was saying before, a roadmap drifting between the SRE roadmap and the product one, overreaching, implement services that are only supported by SRE and you cannot afford to sustain it, and taking shortcuts like delivering an incomplete solution and worst, not working one.
And when we talk about seniority and expertise, we know that skills and knowledge are different. Knowledge comes from theories and skills come from experience. Generalists are not enough, but today's verticals are too sharp for the jack of all trades, master of none. Also, only senior roles are not enough either. You need more T-shaped experts to be effective and help fast growth for the newcomers. As best practice is have as many all your into a sole unique T-shape team from all the senior roles and try to take a T-shape or at least cone shape.
And respect the 2-to-1 ratio between seniors backward, or you get lost again. And don't do bulk hiring.
Obviously, part of the SRE or platforms team is to establish blueprints based on previous knowledge and policies. This requires creating documentation and promoting best standards, establishing workflows for the day-by-day job, and just in case have a life jacket in case of situations happens. As a best practice would be inside of your documentation, include a definition of done or acceptance criteria. Yes.
The anti-pattern, follow we always do this that way. No. You need to learn something every day. And then the self-documenting code, being that Python code or infrastructure as a code. Come on. So that's my part. Almost 10 years ago, Nassim Nicholas Taleb wrote that anti-fragility is beyond resilience and robustness. The resilience resists shocks and stays the same, and anti-fragiles get better. So, how do we translate this on the SRE part? As a SRE, you want to reduce the operational risks. So, in your team, you want to reduce the buzz factor. And to achieve this, you have to foster the interoperability and redundancy between your team members. And you can do this by having them fulfilling the requests that you normally fulfill, or just participating in a team meeting where you were supposed to be. And this is for every one of us, not just for me because I'm the head of. And use every error we make or every issue, every incident to try to learn something. And apart running post-mortem and the usual SRE stuff, at Netquest, we use the 4+1 formula. That is 4 working days, and usually Friday is dedicated to skill up or to analyze particular issues or things that we saw running bad during the week. Then anti-fragility also applies to distributed systems. So if you want to survive in these years, you should be starting experimenting with the self-improving system, not just with self-healing ones. And as best practice, we have experiment with chaos engineering or run these game days. And you can experiment with the chaos engineering even between your team or with your team. Just make some subject matter expert disappear on the first 5-10 minutes of an incident, and you will improve your team skill in a second. As an anti-pattern, one-man skills, the subject matter expert that know everything about something, but they are the only one. And then the workflow rigidity, because, okay, run books are fantastic, whatever, but if you don't instill some creativity on your team, if one run book gets outdated and the junior is on call, you're lost. So I'm trying to get as faster as I can. A brief recap on what we think is our formula to implement effectively the reliability engineering is culture and trust. We saw it before. Be consistent and always deliver. We think that part of this success is because of the team. So this is a short recipe of one sidetrack that we should have. You have to mix 2 parts of affinity. You need to be on the same page if you want the team runs smoothly. So everyone needs to agree that toil has to be eradicated, that alerts should be alerts just if you can act on them or just trash them. Then mix 1 part of diversity. Don't rush it. Just be open. And the most important for me is walk the talk. You cannot set rules or proclaim whatever you want with the team or the company and then be the first that don't follow the same rule. Then communication, it's important. Business owner, internal customer, external one, you should be always communicating and do it fastly as you can. Build on expertise. Problem we had before in chasing reliability engineering where not that expert people on board, so we fixed it as fastly as we can. And another thing is be curious and experiment for T-shaping, because I mean, the last 2 years in this talk or conference, we always saw that the company having problem, we are just pointing to one expert in one thing, and you cannot grow faster with this. And then be anti-fragile. What's next in our roadmap? More observability, because it's essential for SRE. More platform engineering, but run by SRE in a DevOps culture, not just alone, pick the last blog post and let's do this. Infrastructure as a code for everything. We are migrating everything to the other code that we had to Terraform. We are importing everything just to reduce the possibility of a human error. Also, we are working into auto-remediation for a lot of security issues that are mostly for compliance. And we are planning more anti-fragility experiment and stuff. So, how it gone? So, fast. Just tell Mark we complied. If we say something that you don't know you're interested in, please check out our openings in Netquest, JFK, in London, and in Nuremberg. And that's it. Any question?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm from JFK. What it was? Your plan to opening on JFK? What is this?
No, I mean,
you
know the box game.
Okay.
Netquest was bought years ago by JFK.
Okay, I see. Great, yeah. Yeah.
You don't went to the We Create this year?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
You were in the wrong track.
Great. So my question is, you mentioned you have 6 dev team. This is some kind of setup, and next it will be a question. So you have 6 dev teams. Are the dev engineers on call rotation?
Kind of. I mean, everything in Netquest was set up in a manner that the SRE team can be on call alone. And we need developers, or at least some of the people that are on the pager list, just in case of a disaster.
Okay, because of 90 application in the prod. Yeah, so it's quite big or large scale. So that's why I'm asking. So how the dev team support your as operation?
We try to shift left even this part. I mean, when we build new platform, we start asking, okay, after the platform design and whatever, we start asking, yeah, if something fails, what is failing? What we are supposed to do? What you are supposed to do in case of a major incident? And usually we can get along with this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you practice the inner sourcing? I mean, dev team supports your system, for instance, for the operation, and you review the code of dev application?
In some application, we do this especially for Kubernetes, because for some of the developer teams is a greenfield. So we try to pollution the teams, understand how the more we can of the application, just to be more effective on call. And we do even the opposite. Like we need some automation that is particularly complicated. We call in Python devs. This is less true last month because we, talking about T and com shaping, we have onboarded 2 developers full-time. So we can have different opinions, different point of view on our things, get their point of view, and produce better monitoring system, introducing observability in the correct way, because SRE tends to just want latency or error rates. Maybe we don't want to know if an endpoint is lagging. If there's no point on alerting, maybe this is not an information for me, but for a developer, this is super useful.
Okay. So, and now it's question. My question is how to avoid the SRE team become the service team, just the operation team for the dev. You know.
Great question. I know this is a problem that is burning elsewhere. Just avoiding this. I mean, we are not being rude, but following safe and all the PI planning and blah, 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 we can avoid to be just the service team of anyone. I mean, we decided to concentrate all this SRE in one team and be transversal. We redeploy people on other teams when it's needed, when they need more than 2-4 hours a week, especially when they are constructing new platforms. We tend to detach someone, try to avoid previous conceptual mistakes in the start. And we are lucky because part of the SRE team is even the team that participate to the SIS architecture. So we can assess them in the early stage and avoid to be the one that is, can you deploy this? No, you are able to do this. You can do it even on Friday. Go on.
Okay, thank you.
And usually we tend to give them all the instrument to roll back. I mean, we use code deploy and everything we can to give the wider permission without entering on security and governance. But every team can deploy, roll back, migrate the database and whatever, if they have tested this in QA, pre-prod, and all the other environment before to reach production.